Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cybercrea, a enterprise cybersecurity wisdom house, one podcast at a time. Today's episode, I would say, is different than my other episodes. This happened or started when the guest whom I have honored to have, he just reached out on LinkedIn. He said he is a big supporter and has been following and supporting our podcast, and he has amazing journey. I would say he's one of the youngest guests we had on our show. We have 18-year and others too, but maybe he's one of the youngest, if not the youngest. He's from India, started from a I will let him talk more about it, but he started from very humble background, and then he's working in US right now in one of the most, I would say, the companies you dream to work for. He's into cybersecurity. So my intention today would be to know about his journey and how his journey can inspire a kid who may be in India or any other place who wanna be like him. So without further ado, please join me to welcome Kartik Khurana. Kartik, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited.
So Karthik, even for me also, I think I would love to know more about you. So if I have to give you a moment to introduce yourself, who's Karthik?
Sure. So first of all, welcome everyone to the podcast, and thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I inspire whoever's listening. So I'm Karthik. I joined NVIDIA an year back, and right now I'm leading customer trust for NVIDIA. So it's a big responsibility, but I'm still happy and alive, if I want to quote. But yeah, I started from a tier three college in Delhi, which is an IP university affiliated by IP University. I got from initial days, I had my interest into cybersecurity. I started by learning how to hack a Facebook account. I obviously failed, but then it turned into how to secure things, and then eventually turned. I gained more interest into cybersecurity. Went for internships. I did an internship at Amazon and then a couple of more companies. And then during the last year of my bachelor's, I was planning to come to US for my higher education, but the COVID time was not really happy with my plan. So my exams got delayed, and US education system was like very rigid on like when you have to submit the degree and everything. So I had to stay back in India, but luckily I got a job from one of my previous internship companies called Health Catalyst. It is a US based healthcare data analytics company. It was on startup phase at that time, so I gained a lot of experience there. That was one of my best decisions till date, that I worked in a startup and I had a lot of horizontal and vertical breadth to learn a lot of new concepts, a lot of new things. And then eventually I moved to Penn State. It was really difficult for a like a boy from India to come to Penn State and then tackling everything. I was a very pampered kid in home in Delhi, but yeah, it was very difficult to tackle everything with the studies, with the amount of studies, and then the stress of application and everything. But I went through it. I got internship offers from five different companies, including Tesla, Nvidia, and Microsoft. So I chose NVIDIA because the role was more aligned towards what I wanted to do eventually in future and what I really wanted to pursue. And that's how I chose NVIDIA. And then during my internship, I impressed my manager. I was working really hard and everything. So they gave me a return offer. So my degree was originally for 2 years, but because I had the offer, shortened it to 1.5 years. My last semester was really heavy because I was covering up for 2 semesters, but I completed my master's in like 1.5 years. And then since then, I have been working with NVIDIA.
What a journey. So I think I heard multiple things. Maybe I will try to dissect the things, maybe make it more kind of a like show that part, right? I think we know your A, we know your B. Then you touch few kind of a different I don't know, small, maybe goalposts, whatever in between, and then you kind of you're there. And I'm not saying this is your final destination. Maybe you will still I wish you I think you shine and you excel in whatever you wanna do. Um, but you said tier three, if I'm not wrong, tier three college, a humble college from India, and then you're working for NVIDIA right now. You had multiple offers from I heard Tesla and NVIDIA and I believe Microsoft. The other one
Yeah.
I missed it maybe. So all the like big fang, big kind of the dreams, right? So I think we probably have here multiple audiences. There is a kid who's in India right now, maybe already doing like a engineering BTech B, whatever we call it, in from tier two, tier three college, not from IIT, not from like the college. They know that they would get whatever they want to go. Because even today, I get a lot of kids who have done like a engineering and they're struggling right now with, I don't know, with AI and things like that. So let's start from there. So tier three college from India, I think there would be millions in India right
Yeah.
now. So we have an audience there. What is your kind of a take or less or maybe a guidance to them what they should be doing today if they are in already in college or they are just passed out and struggling to get their job? What is your advice or anything you want to share just from your experience, Karthik?
Sure. So, first thing which I felt, and I was really lucky that my mentors guided me along the way when I was like during my bachelor's and while I was going through it, was that college matters only if you are either in an IIT, NIT, or BITS, or like again, tier one college. But after that, it is your individual personality, skills, and what you are and how you do things, which matters the most. So, even from my college, there were a couple of students, including me, who cracked like really good jobs. And apart from that, everyone who went into like the normal, usual routine were going for the normal like mass recruiter jobs. But like if someone wants to really crack the BTech and like really want to succeed in it, then my only suggestion would be, which I really followed, is that be do something on your own and don't follow anyone else. So like for example, in my college there was no concept of cybersecurity. I was doing just my bachelor's in technology in computer science engineering. So it was no cybersecurity, but I still followed my path. I still went towards learning more offline and like in my own time, and that's how I landed all my internships and job and everything. So yes, college matters if again you are in a very good college, if the name you have the brand name backing you up. But if not, then you are the brand name of yourself. So like focus on improving yourself, improving your skills, and being your own self.
So again, I heard few things there, and I mean today I was talking to a kid. He did like some smaller college, and he's struggling. He did some small job. I love the way you said follow your own path, don't follow the like herd or whatever you call it, right? But you made a good point. So I think when I talk to all these new kids who kind of they just did with a BTech in India and is struggling to find a job because for whatever reasons, when I ask like what is their skill, right? Because education, they just get whatever, pass the exams and get number, whatever it is, right? Cyber, I don't see. I see full stack. I'm front end developer. I'm back end developer. I'm a full stack developer, right? That's where they are limited, right? That's where maybe where and now with the AI and now the AI is doing a lot of
Yeah.
front end work and I know it can even build your app and all this fancy thing now. But I feel like cyber, no matter what you do, I think I was reading somewhere like we are never the next big thing, but we're always part of the next big thing. Cyber is never like, okay, this is like new AI, right? AI and whatever it is, right? Blockchain, blah, blah. But we are like a horizontal, right? We would be there every, we are not even vertical. Like AI can be vertical, whatever, but we are like horizontal. I think the struggle I see is like all these kids still not trying to be like a, maybe I have met some other kids like a Bandana. She's 18-year girl, still haven't like she just did her 10 plus 2 then she's doing her college undergrad, but she's all into cyber. So I think it, and also talking to some of my other guests, like say cyber, you don't pick cyber, it happens to you. And I
It
heard you
happened.
said you were trying to have Facebook, you couldn't. But what was your moment? How did it happen to you? Because in a college and knowing I'm gonna try cyber, you say you mentor, that's a big piece. But then again, you have to be lucky enough to have those mentors, right? If somebody who doesn't have those mentors, so what happened with you? First, I want to hear that, and then maybe somebody who doesn't have mentor like you had it, what they can do today.
Sure. So I'll start a little before my college. I was like around 16 or 17 in school, and then you have access to internet and then social media. You try to uh, try to do a lot of stuff. So, and that is how I started. Like I was rooting my devices and jailbreaking my mobile phone, and then it occurs to me that can I try hacking a Facebook? It was like a thought on a random day, and then from there it started by like how I can hack. I learned about it, and then I learned about how to secure it, or why was why it cannot be hacked. And then eventually I transformed into learning more about security and what are the concepts of security. So while I was stepping into my college, I was already I already knew a lot of concepts around security. And then I was, as and when I went into the college, I started on the sidelines. I started doing bug bounty. So bug bounty, for those who don't know, I'll quickly explain that like you find bugs in websites and applications and servers of different companies which have a vulnerability disclosure program. So they either pay you, they acknowledge your hard work, they either give you gifts according to the vulnerabilities you find. So I eventually did that, obviously started with P5, P4 level vulnerabilities and all the way to P1. So I have a lot of Hall of Fames, like I guess 100 plus Hall of Fames in different companies and different organizations. So that's how like first couple of years were. It was more like a penetration tester guy, just utilizing tools and concepts to bypass companies, and obviously for either acknowledgements, gifts, or money, whatever was the motivation factor at that time. But then I went into a IIT Delhi competition again. That was a penetration testing competition. Got the first position, got the second position, and then eventually I realized that I am good at it and I should pursue it as my career. And then I reached out to a few more people on LinkedIn and then met them offline in like a couple of conferences around there. And that's how I made my mentors along the way. It is like no one has introduced me to a mentor. It is like organic connections, and I have made along the way. And I feel that if there is an introduction, there is someone involved in between. But I feel, I personally, I prefer an organic connection which is built by my own, so that I can set expectations and everything very clear and start fresh rather than someone introducing me. So that's how I started it. And then because of that competition, I got my first internship at Amazon. And then eventually I started realizing that I can take it as a career path rather than just normal common computer science engineering. And it obviously took me some time to understand that, because again, I was also in the zone of following everyone, following my seniors, like working hard for the aptitude test and everything, which are like really common in India if you want to get a job in mass recruiting scenario. So I was also in that zone. But eventually I realized that instead of doing aptitude tests, I can do much more around cybersecurity, because that is my strength. I'm learning that and I'm good at that. So I tried focusing on myself, then focusing on the common taken route, if you would say. So yeah.
So I heard, I think you said mentor, but I heard it was more of your curiosity. That's how it started. And then in the journey, you found mentors, and then maybe then they help you to better or whatever you're doing already. And that's kind of is true because cyber has like you need to have an curious mindset, right? You need to have the kind of a not accepting how things are, challenging things and thinking, right? But again, I'm going back to same back. I think you have an amazing journey, pen testing and bug bounty. So is it something like if again, if I have to say a kid who are like again, they're following the herd and they're struggling, where they can start? Like you just have to start like from ground zero.
Yeah, you can. So you can start by learning some concepts, like some basic concepts and some basic courses around bug bounty. There, I won't suggest you spending like a lot on learning something, because everything is available on YouTube or some sort of free website. So you can, and that's from where I have learned everything. And then eventually, I also collaborated with the ICT, so I also have my own bug bounty courses. So that's something I have worked on, and now I have left. I'm not like involved. They are live, they are published there, but now I'm not heavily involved there. But yeah, bug bounty is something which I have started with, and I have seen a lot of my peers have started with, because it is first very curious, interesting, and it gives you rewards as and when you have succeeded. So if like I remember I did bypass a Lego website, the Lego toy website, and then I got a Lego set. That was like a second or third bug bounty achievement for me, and I was like so happy. And that those things keeps motivating a 19-year or an 18-year-old child who is like going and traveling to college. So that is something which kept motivating me. So I started over that, learned about bug bounty concepts, and then eventually uh, you should have a curious mind, you should have a challenging mind, as you said, to crack it, obviously, because um, if the concepts are pretty simple and written, then everyone can secure their websites. So if they are giving you some money to bypass it, to penetrate it, then you should have something of your own. So that's what, and that's how I went into it.
So learning part, YouTube is enough. I heard there are a lot of tons of courses around it. Learn the concepts and then just register to Buckcrowd. Do you have like a platform you want to suggest?
Yeah, yeah. I had all. I have was in Integrity, but Crowd Hacker One. So I was in like all of the major platforms, and then I used to do, because they are like very heavily. They are very heavy on request. So I also used to do like individual private programs as well, and I used to have some Google Docs, which I used to do for finding very untouched bug bounty programs and new bug bounty programs, so that like my chances of getting recognized or getting a successful hit is more. So that's how like I used to select a target in bug bounty.
Because again, that's why I feel like cyber, and so I'm part of other like a couple of, and I would say more than couple. I think I'm part of Nest and Nice Cyber Ambassador program where we say cyber has a role for everybody. It's not just the man with the hoodie on, but even with this whole bug bounty thing, right? It gets you that I don't know adrenaline rush or whatever you call it. I'm not if I'm getting it right, right? Like there's a you see like it's a fun quotient, right? And the new generation, I believe they want to have some fun too. They don't want to just follow that whole traditional. And so I feel like if you are into cyber, and not everybody have to be in that ethical hacking or pen testing one, and there are different kind of a roles and journey and pathway, but at least you start from there, right? You if you can break it, you can secure it, right?
Exactly.
So how young? Again, I heard like 18, 19 year, and Bandana is she's 18. So she was 16 when she started doing whatever she's doing today. So for a kid in high school or whatever, how young they should start at least trying things in a safe way, ethical way.
I would say 16 is the age when I started, and I feel that before that you should enjoy your life, because childhood is not coming back. So you would have responsibilities and everything. So I guess 16, 17 is where you can start, because you can have much more knowledge till you are stepping into college, that what you should do in the college, and that would decide your future career path. So I guess if you can give like a couple of years before the college and not like a very heavy schedule or something, enjoy your school and everything. But like if you just understand the concepts, understand the whole path of cybersecurity or whatever field you are going into, that helps a lot in shaping your bachelor's in which direction you want, and then eventually your like future as well.
I was thinking when I was 16 or 17, what I was doing. Again, I come from a little bit further. I'm not as I'm different. I'm millennial. You guys are, I believe, Gen Zs, and then Gen Alpha, I believe. 16, 17-year kid, even today, I see because I was struggling. I was there, had the pressure of trying to get into IITs and that whole preparation of engineering, right? Expectation from the family, okay, you have to go into IIT, right? So even today is the 16, 17-year kid, not Kartik or not Bandana, but every other, even in my family, I see there's a pressure, there's a, if not pressure, at least expectation, like I want to be into IIT, right? So how did you navigate that thing, and what do you recommend for, because they're not even thinking about doing all cyber and bug bounty because they think, okay, I'm 16, 17, everybody's doing this and IT, and you have to, if I say you have to find your own path. But even in my family, I see that I would say not pressure, but expectation, right? Okay, maybe if you can get into IT or tier one, it's always good. The life is set and blah blah blah. But we don't know, like the end goal is not that IT, right? End goal is something else, your happiness and do what you love doing, right? So 16, 17-year kid who's listening to you, Karthik, who have that expectation, at least in his or her mind, or from family, or from knowing relative that somebody has done something now is Indian, right? I don't know, maybe it has changed now. At least I struggle in my own path. I got into a good college. Now I would not say IIT, decent, I would say tier 2, if not tier 3. So what is your kind of a response on that? How the 16, 17 kid can do these things and then not get into that whole loop, right? If you're good, you're good, but how do we break that loop?
Sure. So first thing is that yeah, there was a family pressure, relative pressure on me as well to get into IIT. I did a coaching for a couple of years while again I was in my plus one and plus two, like 10, 11th and 12th. So I went for coaching at that, and again I was not meant to be in IIT, so I couldn't go there. But yeah, I also did that coaching. I was also involved in like a very heavy study sessions and everything, and the only thing which I learned in that coaching is that how to navigate life problems or how to navigate problems in general rather than just studying about concepts of like maybe organic chemistry or something. So that's how the whole IIT pressure was for me. It was again, it was struggling. It was difficult because if the family or relatives and the whole atmosphere in your classroom is like out of 50 students 48 are preparing for IIT, and then like they are talking and everything, teachers are also pushing you slash motivating you for that, so there is obviously a pressure, but there are limited number of seats in IIT. I hope everyone who wants to get into an IIT can get it, but it's not possible. So just do whatever you can to do to make your life not a lot stressed out. Okay, because I remember wasting or slash not happily. I was not happy in my plus one and plus two years because I was like so heavily involved in my school, with my football, then with my coaching from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and then coming back, then finishing some stuff up, then like going for bug bounty or something of that sort. So it was like those 2 years have disappeared from my life. I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of cybersecurity concepts, but in terms of family relations, in terms of happiness, I was not there. So prefer enjoying every moment of life and then on the sidelines learning about what you want to do rather than just focusing on one goal which everyone else is also.
No, 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 you guys are smart. Even I would say the next generation, the Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, I would say I struggled when I was in that age, wanted to get into IT. I knew I will not get into IT. I think it used to call pre and mains. Now it's changed. Now I believe there's something else now. But I knew like I will crack the first one, but I will not get my dream. But I got into the whatever decent government college, and get into campus placement, and then you go on that path, and then you reach somewhere. At that age, you don't know what is your, I don't know, where you want to be, right? I don't think
And
so.
yeah,
I feel like maybe the kids, you guys are more smarter, or maybe also knowing like even if you don't get into IIT, it's gonna be okay.
yeah, exactly.
So
That's what I learned, that IIT is not the end of the world. There are like again, as you said, million colleges in like in India and outside, and people are getting good jobs. There are a lot of good startups and everything coming out of small colleges, tier three, tier two colleges, and people. And obviously, you can build better opportunities for you eventually along the line. It's not just IIT brand name. So that's what I feel, and that's what I suggest everyone who talk to me, that not going into IIT is okay. It's not the end of the world. And also that IIT don't guarantee you a really high paying or a good paying job. Obviously, the brand name would help. It would for sure help you. It would give you an edge, but it won't guarantee anything.
do you have like a maybe define different pathways? So maybe if you are, again, there are kids who are like they are made for IIT, right? You would know they don't study much, but they will get into IIT. Then there's a kids like me who may be good, but for some reason they don't get into IIT. And then maybe they're like, not everybody can be, and we try to put everybody into same, like,
Mhm.
no, everybody have to do engineering,
Engineering.
especially in the other part of the world and the part I'm at here. Like we're given choices. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be a teacher. You can be, and I think in our still, I would say in India still that engineering and doctor, and maybe it's changing now. I
Mhm.
hope it's changing now. But for again the engineering aspirants, is it more education for the parents also? I'm trying to see like how do we reach out to those kids and tell them it's gonna be okay. We hear some stories, there's something going on in Kota and whatnot. So I think how do they can learn or see you and inspire, and how do we reach out to them also, Karthik?
Sure, yeah. So I feel that it is not just for students or the person who is like applying slash studying for IIT. It is for their parents, for their teachers, for their peers, relatives, everyone. That their target should be a good college, a good study schedule or a scenario, like more learn to focus towards learning rather than getting into just IIT. Because again, like I have seen people just like taking dropouts of colleges of school just to like prepare for IITs for a couple of years and they still cannot get in. So it is nice to accept that you are not meant for an IIT, you are not meant to be there. It is good to accept that and move on and create better opportunities or similar opportunities. So, like my peer at NVIDIA, one of my peer at NVIDIA from security is from IIT. I'm from a tier 3 college, but we are sitting together. We are on the same, we are exactly on the same level. We are exactly doing similar things. So I feel that you can have an alternate path apart from IIT. So focus on yourself rather than the brand name of IIT.
And also, I'm into a different kind of a age bracket now. I feel like there's also the moment, like part of the happiness, right? It's not just so that whole education, this part is just a small, tiny part of your life, right? Then your what you gonna be, where you gonna be, and who you gonna be, right? Okay. I'm just thinking about like that kid in 16, 17-year kid, and that whole loop of coaching. You said they have
Yeah,
to drop some years. It's just kind of a loop, right? And then they think this is the end of the world, which is not. So I think you are right. It's more for the society and parents as well,
everyone in general who is
not just.
interacting, yeah, to accept that it is not the end of the world. There are more opportunities apart from IITs, and like a lot of successful people are from IITs, and a lot are not even from IITs. So just understand that and like move on from there and then explore new things.
And also, I feel like because they like we as a human we try to follow whatever like proven thing, right? Okay, you get into IIT, good college, and because that's how it has been done. But the new word has changed. New word is like is this so much wealth of knowledge. You don't even have to be in a even do a undergrad if you don't have to, right? I know a kid who are like a I think he's a college dropout or a school dropout. He's into threat intel. He's amazing. He's just like a young, I don't know, 19, 18, whatever it is. So, and I talked to some other kids. Sano Bandana, she's another example. Like she's still in like now started doing her undergrad. So, and then somebody small remote village doing bug bounty, building something. Somebody like working with police and armed forces and empowering. So I think there are stories, but I feel like that stories is not as like a as normal as getting into IT and getting into good college and then getting into job is it's like it's normal, right? We accept that as this is what you should be doing. That's like the proven path. But your path, how do we make your path as a proven path to like what we should be doing?
Sure. So first, yes, of course, the not so often taken paths are not the proven paths. That's true, and like those stories are very limited. And I remember one of my friends from my bug bounty group. He was in first year of college. He did some bug bounty for Microsoft. He connected with a few engineers to solve that, like as part of blue teaming process. And then eventually they hired him before even completing his BTech. So he dropped out of his BTech and now he's working with Microsoft full time as a security engineer. So that is something, and like, so I feel that obviously, in my own opinion, that college is important. Like, at least studying in college gives you a lot of different experiences, either friendships or tackling around situations, how you have to submit an assignment overnight, etc., etc. There are a lot of good, bad slash memories which can improve you as a person. But the focus should not be just following someone, because then everything would be similar or same, and the person ahead of you would move even more farther, and you would be there. So it is better to take a different part or a path path which is not like very oftenly explored. And obviously, I understand from parents' perspective that they don't want to risk their child's life, or they don't want to put them in a situation where they don't know what they want to do after like 20 early 20s or late 20s. So of course that is another scenario which is there where I come from, India. But I feel that the parents should also be open to give at least their student a couple, like their child a couple of years to explore whatever they want to explore, whatever they want to try. And obviously, if they fail, if they are not, and failing is, I feel personally for myself, failing has been always really important for me because I never failed. I always learned from it, from the experience. So people call, like never went into IIT, but I learned a lot of things from that whole journey. So I don't call it as a failure for me. I just call it that I learned over the time for 2 years from that coaching and everything. So, and again, it is just my own opinion. This is how I think. This is my own perspective. So I feel that it is good to try out new things. It is good to explore new things, and eventually, I feel that if you are good at something, if you are dedicating your hard work, your time, then eventually you would be succeeding in that.
I like when you said small. I think even I contribute my 4 year college degree to who I am today. I think that it's more about, I would say, the learnings you get. You said the friends you get for life and the human skills you learn, right? And you have been living with your parents. You go out, live in hostel, how to deal with, you get to meet all different sort of people, right? I think in the life, that's the skill you should be learning, right? How to deal with different personalities and still kind of work on the same goal. And the memories, the I don't know, I think there's everybody have a story, right? I think
Yeah.
when I was trying to even do like another podcast just for my own college, because no matter I know where they are, whenever you talk to them, that thing is there, and you need that. You need that
Yeah.
connections in your life, right? It's not just you go on some path, you're earning money, which is good, which is one part of your personality, but there are other pieces too. You want to
Yeah.
have.
Exactly.
So highly recommend. Yeah, I think yeah, BTech. What I think, and I think we always laugh in our family too, right? If you see all this, everybody doing like somebody is doing something. They all had some BTech. I know, like all these guys. I feel like somebody's actor, somebody's producing movies, somebody's the spiritual guru, somebody's. I think
Yeah.
you only see us people doing anything in
Yeah.
the world, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
My manager the other day he gave me a task, and it was like I had to submit it the next day, and he was like, do you think you would be able to do it? And I was like, for sure, because I am used to do overnight assignments in my college, and my college has prepared me for that. So I agreed that engineers are all over the world doing a lot of different things, and that is what makes it really beautiful, that you can try out and explore new things, and that's what is really important, I feel.
Yeah. Because at the end, I think it's the other life skills you learn, how to survive, right? How to
How to survive.
survive new place, new kind of, if you join NVIDIA or any other, any I'm not trying to like name, but any other place, any other team, your manager, how to deal with your team, your supervisors, your I don't know, subordinates and your peers and whatever we call it. And you can survive. If you can survive those 4 years, you can survive anywhere, right? Resiliency also, I feel like you get that, right?
Agreed. Yeah, that is really true. That if you can happily survive 4 years, making friends, making connections, getting a job out of it, then you are like ready for your whole life journey eventually, because it gives experience of literally everything. So I agree that.
It's like doing a 4 year on a life coaching program, right? Because
Exactly.
we don't teach. So one thing I always wondered, like even in college, right? Like I know there are other things you learn, like by reading books, or you always try to become better version of yourself. But yeah, at least in my time, I was not taught. I was not a sports. Now you said you were playing football, but at least in my again going back to it is 90s and what I don't want to provide my age here, but I think the world has changed now. I think you guys are smarter now. I think you play sports, you do other things too. But also I hear it has become smarter, but also maybe more siloed now because you're more into the technology. So I think that 4 year degree we need that. What I'm
Exactly.
hearing is don't like we were not saying you should not be like you can pick cyber, but we still recommend you should do your
degree, complete your
Go for
college, go for
yeah.
B.Tech, enjoy the time with your friends and everything. The 4 years are really important, and then eventually you will be prepared well for the next chapter of your life and eventually moving forward. So
But
obviously,
we are saying like don't just chase IIT, do whatever you get. But if you don't need to get into IIT tier two, tier three, tier four, you know there are different avenues. You have to then maybe work on the other skill, maybe cyber, the things you were saying, Karthik. Make sure you are ready. All right.
yeah, and the other thing is that accept whatever is the reality and then learn from it is the most important thing, which I would like to like just say it out loud, that accept that you are not meant for IIT, or you were not as like I was not as intelligent as other IITians, so I couldn't get into IIT. Might not be that hardworking. Whatever it is, accept it, learn from it, and then move on. And then start working on the next things in your life.
So as I was telling you, I was talking to this kid, and I think he's kind of a again did his engineering, did some work. He's like a front end or full stack, whatever we call it. Can he be in cyber too? Because I asked him, like, are you willing to switch to? Because again, he's following the herd and then struggling. There's not many jobs now with AI and everything. So how someone like him or her who hasn't done what you have done even in 16, 17 or whatever age you said you have been already doing that. You already had your path when you were college. What he can do today or she can do today, Karthik, to maybe see if he can join cyber as well, because we have
Sure.
to help him, right?
Yeah, I'll quickly take like 30 seconds to give an example, and then I would answer the question. So my current teammate, she is a American citizen. She is 45, I believe, and she was into neuroscience previously. Then she got married, she was working full time, she has a PhD and everything. Then she had a kid. She dropped her work for like 9 years. Then she went for a master's MS in cyber, and now she's working with me in NVIDIA from like last 1 year now. So she has shifted from neuroscience to doing nothing for like 8 9 years, like handling her family, taking care of her child and everything. And now she is back into working culture, and now she is a cybersecurity slash security engineer in NVIDIA. Coming back to the question, that it needs hard work, obviously. So learning about concepts, and if you are already some sort of engineer, whether full stack, ML, data engineer, so it is very easy because you know the concepts of that particular technology which you want to secure in future. So it is very easy for a full stack developer to be a web application security tester or a web application penetration tester. And then because you already know things around the front end of the website and like a little bit of back end of the website, so obviously that is something which is very related. And the shift is, I won't say pretty easy, but it is much better than someone who has not worked on front end. So obviously try utilizing again resources, go for certifications. If you can do a master's, I would recommend it, because the focus in masters is very heavy on the concept, and that is something which straightens all of your technology concepts and everything. So that is a really good suggestion I can give. But if not, then obviously focus on learning about the concepts, then taking certifications, going for YouTube courses, etc., etc. And then the shift is very, very straightforward slash a very straight line, because from an engineer to a security person, it's like not very difficult in comparison to other professions.
So my earlier guest Ken, he leads IC2's New Jersey chapter. So he has similar stories. He was saying a DJ. She was a DJ. Now she's into cyber, and she leads the entire DJ for whatever New Jersey chapter, whatever event he does. And so I think there was a musician and teacher, and I heard neuro scientist. So I feel like how BTech guys can do everything, cyber guys kind of gets everybody else. It's kind of a BTech become like the start of everything. It's cyber become like a accepting, and we have a role for everybody, right? So if you are on whatever phase of your life and trying to change your career or not sure, I think there is a place for you. Because and again you rightly said the full stack developer and the front end developer, he knows what he's building, Now you just need to know, how do I secure it? How do I break it and how do I secure it, right? So you know already the code and whatever JavaScript, JSON, whatever you call it, and everything. So you're living that word. Now you just need to learn, how do I bad guy would do, and then how do I be ahead and then find vulnerabilities
Secure it.
or
Yeah.
secure it. Okay. So I probably, I think, tell that to him. I was talking to him today. But thank you, Karthik. Anything else you want to share? I know we don't want to make it a uh, very long podcast. We still want to give some value to our audience, and I think our audience is a kid who's not sure, 16, maybe 16 to 20, 22 range, and haven't figured out her or his why. Anything else you want to share from your journey? Anything else you want to share from your life, or anything else, Karthik?
Sure. So the other thing I would like to focus, and that has been really important for me, is to being connected. So, like either with your mentors, with your professors, with your peers, just be connected. Like, I heavily rely on LinkedIn for my professional connections. I connect with a lot of people. I talk with a lot of people. That helps me. First thing is that it helps me understanding what new is coming up, what are the new upcoming technologies I can prepare myself for. And the other thing is that it also, and that is my personal benefit, that I prefer talking to people, I prefer going to events. So my connection list is very heavily dependent slash promoting the cybersecurity events around me or around the world. So I like going there. So that is something I would suggest, that make connections, build them. I still, like, I was in India last month. I was giving guest lectures in a couple of colleges, and all those colleges, in how I got invited, were again, some of my professors were there. One of my professor got into a dean position in one of the colleges, so he invited me. And because I just like on a quarterly or a 6 months basis, I just text the person that, hey professor, here I am, this is what I'm doing, this is what is like a personal achievement in my life. I bought a car, or maybe I got a promotion or something, just to keep him aware and of my life, and just to tell him that, I still exist, and like just to refresh their memory about me. So that has really helped me in getting a lot of good mentors, and also learning from mentors, because like people can reach out to someone and they can offer you some guidance, but if it is not a personal connection, then it is more of a formal guidance which you can again find from a lot of people. But if there is a personal connection, that guidance would have some sort of personal touch, and it would benefit you even more than anything else.
Like this connection, right? So I know if I have a kid who's calling me from India and is struggling, I know whom to reach out now. So, and then we connected via LinkedIn, right? I think we connected, I don't know. And then now this is happening, Karthik. So I really, and I think one thing I say to all the kids, like, be active, as you said, be active on LinkedIn, have a real personal connection. Don't use AI. Don't pretend like this is all like a fake. And people are willing to help, but you just have to be genuine,
Properly
be,
reach out to them.
yeah, properly, and be honest, and also raise your hand saying how I can help versus asking for help, right? Like how I can be part of whatever you are doing. And
And yeah, the other thing which I have learned all the way is that, and that is why that is I quote in a lot of in a lot of my sessions and lectures and everything, that if you ask for referral, you will get guidance, but if you ask for guidance, you would get a referral. So like, if you directly message someone that, what, I need a referral, they would be like, and if someone has like limited number of referrals, they would be like, oh, please apply like this, go to this page, do this. But if you want someone to give you an advice, if you keep them in that position, they would be more happy to help you out on a personal level, like either referring you or connecting you with someone. So that is something I have been using it myself personally. I have been telling people to use it, that instead of directly reaching out for direct help, it should start with more of a conversation, and then learn from their experiences, take guidance from them, and eventually, if they know you, if they trust you, and if they feel that you are a good person, you can be a good professional peer, then they would eventually obviously refer you. So that is something which I really tell about.
yeah, be real. Don't take shortcuts. Have those ethical values. Even cyber, we always sign ethics, right? Ethics is the most important. piece, right? And I maybe I heard something similar, which I was trying to maybe ask you. Does the skill of storytelling, like, and be able to communicate, also matters most more than your technical skill nowadays?
Of course, and particularly in cyber, I would say that in cyber, it is like soft skills matters, like I won't say the most, but it is like really important. Like you should have critical thinking, you should know how to solve like problems which you haven't tackled before, and you should obviously have good communications, because an engineer won't understand properly what you want them to do according to an NIST framework or something. So you have to communicate properly, you have to think from their perspective, and then you have to make them understand that, okay, this is what I want, and this is how I want you to secure the system. So communication, then critical thinking, problem solving, these are the soft skills which are really, really important. And obviously communication is there, because if you have good communication skills, if you're good at storytelling, then eventually your interview experiences would be really good, and the person interviewing you would be really, really really happy talking to you, and it won't be like he's just like passing the 30-minute time mark or a 1 hour time mark. He would be really enjoying talking to you.
Yeah. And I guess when I was a kid, and again, 16, 17, a kid, I was a shy kid, right? So it doesn't come naturally to you, right? But if you not, you have to start doing that and it will come eventually to you, right? So is there anything you want to share on that front, Karthik? Like, if I'm a shy kid and I'm like introvert, I'm just into studies, I go to coaching, I will get into IIT and I feel life would be set, right? But that's not the real world, right? The real world is something else. So how you become what you become? How did you learn your part of a soft skill? And is it natural to you, or is it something you work on it?
Sure. So, like, I was never an introvert because I was like involved with a lot of activities, a lot of sports and everything. And as I told, like, I love to be involved in events and everything. So I was always like very heavily involved, if not leading something. So I was always there helping people, talking to people and everything. But like, there is obviously a learning curve, and still I want to improve my communication skills, my problem solving and everything, because you are never perfect, you always have to learn. So even today I need to learn a lot of things, a lot of new, let's say, words or new technical terms maybe, which can help me in future. So there is always a learning curve, but I feel that if you can talk to people, if you can share what you are feeling, it would obviously help you getting something out of them.
And yeah, I think I try to talk to my whatever extended family kids and these kids, try to know what's going on, because has been a little bit, I would say, 2 decades, more than 2 decades, whatever time I was in college, and I feel like the problems we had, even the word has changed. It is still the same kind of a, no, kids are kids, right? And the parents are parents, and the pressure, the society, and all the flashy things, right? Everybody seems happy on very on all this Instagram and all these words, right? I think people are faking it, and I think that adds pressure to all these kids and even to us also, right? We all are human being, right? There's always that whole I don't know, rat race or whatever you want to call it. Try to get ahead of the rat race, and I don't think you can teach that to anybody. Just it comes to you eventually.
Yeah, and I feel that there are a lot of fake things, a lot of over advertised things, or a lot of things which are not real going on over the internet, again, like in different platforms and everything, which fascinates her, but that is not the reality of life. The reality of life is like totally different. So everyone is not like traveling 3 countries a month or something like that. So it is not the reality. So it is better to understand it before it becomes like your ambitions, because that's something which is like really hard to achieve, or slash which is like very limited number of people can get there. So it is better to understand the reality that a lot of things are advertised in a different way, are fake slash like promoted, and then maybe on it, like learn from honest people, learn from people who talks about reality rather than just like different things.
And knowing life is not perfect, right? Nothing is perfect, and as you rightly said, failure is not bad thing. Failing and having struggling, and it's not a bad thing as long as you can come back and fight and Yeah. So I think I always keep saying, like, if you have to be on social media, be active on LinkedIn. I think that is the one platform I'm pretty active. That's you. People talk bad about it. People are talking a lot of good. I don't know, LinkedIn is like a hyped one, but I still see value on LinkedIn versus if I go to any other platform. So that's the only platform I use. And then yeah, I have met like someone like you and my other peers, and like now we call friends each other. We are talking. We are so it's just like, and I met two like amazing people I've been interviewing, I think, on my podcast as well. So I would say for the kids. So if I have to ask again, maybe LinkedIn is one. Like maybe key takeaways after listening to you,
Sure.
Karthik. I'll probably maybe we'll do maybe follow ups podcasts as well, just to keep it short for the first episode. Do you have like a five key takeaways from this, or maybe from your learning? Uh, few things, but do you want to summarize five key takeaways for our audience?
Sure. So I guess one would be that initially start as and when you can. You should not wait that like my college would be helpful for my technical studies slash my bachelor studies. If you can start beforehand, it is always better. I remember I started studying C in my school, and my first semester of my college was pretty easy because everything was focused on C++. I just used to play football, and I don't recommend that, but this is what I used to do. So obviously start as and when you can. There is no right time. There is no you are I read this very good quote somewhere in a like a newsletter or something, that Obama retired from the US president when he was like 50s or something, and then Trump first got elected when he was like 70. So like every person has their own journey, own age, and own timeline. So I started in 16, but you can start in 25 and maybe even more successful than me, and someone can start at 14 and like more successful than me. So it totally depends on you, but start as and when you can, as and when you feel right. And then obviously hard work, you cannot replace hard work with anything. I feel whatever it is, even if it is sports, if it is like, let's say, IIT preparation, cybersecurity, bug bounty. I remember like if I'm submitting like 50 bugs, out of that only 10 would get accepted. 40 would be just my hard work learning from there. So hard work cannot be replaced. The third thing would be that failure is accept the failure and learn from it, and like don't get the obviously we have emotions, we are humans, not robots as of now. So you would be getting demotivated from failures. You will feel like why things are not working out, but eventually it will. Everything pays off, everything comes back. So make sure to learn from the failures, and that is really important. Thing which I always followed, that I would obviously learn something or the other from failure. The fourth thing I would tell is that I am very open to talking to people and learning from people, whether if the person is smaller to me or maybe more experienced, whoever it is, whether it is again, and I'm not particularly talking about like cybersecurity skills or professional skills. It could be anything. So whenever I'm talking to someone, I think it as a responsibility slash task for me to take a good thing out of that person, which can help me in shaping something different. So like that is really helpful. So if I'm talking to you, Gaurav, I would take like whatever we have talked. I would take some one good thing which you have said, and then which gives me a new perspective, and that. So that is, try to learn one good thing from every person you talk, and every person you meet. And fifth would be consistent. Be Don't lose hopes. Be consistent, and then uh, treat. There would be a lot. I remember for my internship, I filled 1,200 applications, and I got 5 offers, and including like 3 bigger companies and 2 startups. But I also got 1,195 rejections. So that is how you should see life. That even if there are rejections, there would be at least one acceptance or one good thing which's gonna happen to you. So just focus on that, work towards that, and eventually everything would come back. Your hard work would be paying off.
No, plus five. So first was I loved all the things like my wannabe. I learned as well a lot from you, Karthik. And So you said first is like start whenever you can, right? Second, I believe was hard work, right? Third was fail
Yeah,
failing.
accept the failure and learn from it.
Yeah. Fourth was
Learn
learn
one
from
thing from
others, right?
yeah,
And fifth was
be
consistent. Be
consistent.
consistent. Persevere. You're gonna fail. You're gonna just the atomic habits, right? I'm a big fan of reading books, right? 1% a day. Like just improve 1% a day. 1% a day. It has to be small, consistent effort, right?
Yeah, that is, and I like to add one thing that how I like now I'm working in a good firm. I'm like by God grace, I'm like well settled and everything. But I don't want to be like on the same horizon for the rest of my life, like just working 9 to 5, getting my paycheck and everything. So how I deal with it is that I set my targets like for 6 months I want to achieve this, for next 1 year I want to achieve this, and then I look back that this is what I decided on, let's say 12th of February or something, that I want to do this by end of July. Have I done it? If not, then I'm lacking somewhere. If I've done that, then I'm successing my like whatever target I have set. So that is how I deal with things, because sometimes things are very occupied, very you won't be finding a lot of time to tackle things. So you should do set timelines and then follow those.
So create goals, short term,
Create
long
goals,
term,
challenge yourself.
and maybe learning. I think continuous learning. Like if you're not learning. And you said I think learn from others. Um, yeah, I
And
think I was just trying to
yeah, sorry, go on.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that goals are not just meant to be professional, that could be personal goals as well.
Yes.
I won't suggest you all focusing on your career. It can be personal goals. It can be like I want to play football for a league, maybe a local league, or if I want to travel a new country, could be anything. If I want to try a new dish, if I want to learn how to make a new dish, it could be anything. But you should challenge yourself and set some goals.
So again, I think I love it. I love reading books. One of my favorite author, Robin Sharma, he has this book called Eight Forms of Wealth. So he redefined. I think there was another book from Sahil, like five types of wealth. So I think we always see like a progress map to how much, what is your package, what is your how much your money you're getting, which is just one part of the success or the wealth. There are other types of wealth, right? Your community, your tribe, your personal family relationship, your happiness, and other things. Your the sports, the health, and so yeah. I think understanding that I think is not natural to us as a kid, right? We are
And
playing
it
a
comes
sports which
over
is
time.
good.
So
It
yeah,
comes
it
over
comes
time,
over
but
time. It is not
yeah,
like you would learn from a book or
yeah,
obviously reading helps, but it you have to reading and understanding are two different things. So it is good that you understand things, but you have to do that to like
yeah.
success.
And I think yeah, connecting with new people, learning and mentoring, having mentor, and yeah, I think
I
it's
am
just a
not a
journey, right?
very
It's more of a
yeah.
journey
I
than a
don't read a lot of books. I just read books whenever it is necessary. Like right now, I'm reading my CISSP book. But I am not like a very. I don't read a lot of books, but still, I have my own ways of learning new things. So
yeah,
like, it could
yeah.
be a podcast, it could be talking to people. But
Yeah. Yes, there's no like a one fit all, right? So whatever
exactly,
just there has to be learning, continuous learning, whatever medium. There's so much, well, so much of knowledge and podcasts. And I am a big podcast fan too. But thank you, Karthik, again for coming on the show. Thank you for reaching out, saying I would love to join and share my story, which is I would say I hope if yeah, it's to say if you can help even one kid somewhere in the world, I think we will say your time and my time and was all worth it. And some can someone reach out to you if they want to reach out to you if they are like on that journey or path is struggling, Karthik, can they reach out to you?
sure, yeah. My LinkedIn is pretty open. You can reach out to me. You can connect to me on LinkedIn, and you can in the message you can mention that you have reached out to me from the podcast. I would be more than happy to connect with you over a call, the message, however the schedule allows us. But I would be more than happy. I love helping people. I love giving back to the community, and I really want if even one of the person who sees it can be benefited from it. So I would really, I would be more than happy.
I will definitely have your number because, as I said, I try to help whatever I can. So, and I don't have all the answers. I think you are more, I would say, more better somebody who has done this recently than me. I'm trying to go into 20 years and the world has changed. So, thank you again, Karthik. I will share your LinkedIn on our podcast. Maybe try to do this again if there is a more interest. I think we didn't cover a lot of your part of after that. I think we kind of focus on the initial. We didn't cover the wherever you are working and other pieces and how someone who are like maybe doing a grad here and then can do whatever you did and then getting offer from the companies I just heard. So maybe if you're open, Karthi, we can do a follow up podcast. But thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing experiences, and thank you again for what you do. Good luck for your your life, your professional career, and everything else you're doing, Karthik. And I heard a lot of conferences giving back to colleges in India. So I would love to know more about that as well, Karthik.
Thank you so much, and I would be more than happy to discuss the rest of the timeline of my journey. But yeah, I hope it would be it would it was a nice podcast, and like it would help someone. But yeah, it thank you so much for having me here. It was really nice talking to you.
Same here, Karthik. Thank you.